Hey, what's up, guys? How are y'all? Welcome back to the OS Rick Project, episode 78. Guys, how are y'all? Welcome back to the show. How is everything? What have y'all been up to? I hope y'all been having a wonderful weekend. What have you been watching, been playing? Guys, thank you for hanging out. Let's get right into it, guys. So, how was my week? My week, not too bad. Pretty good. Worked all 5 days. Flew by. Came home, hung out with the wifey this weekend. It was good, chill. I did see. Oh, the kitties are playing near the door. I did happen to catch the final episode of Attack on Titan, guys. If you have a chance, if you're a fan, make sure you get on it right away because you know how the internet is. Internet is they love to spoil things for them. They think they're super funny, trying to do their memes. But I was able to watch. I never read the manga. I just watched the anime series, and the ending was I was okay with it. I was okay with the way it ended. I think it was in a good spot. Um, I think there's a lot to learn from that anime, especially with what's going on right now in the real world. Um, but yeah, I think it's one of those you should just kind of like just think about it and see what's going on in the real world because I think it applies very well. What else did I watch? Oh, I did watch A Knock in the Cabin, the M Night Shyamalan movie with David Bautista and who else? They had some other actors on there, but nobody big. But it was a pretty good take. I'm a relatively like I'm not saying a big fan of M Night Shyamalan, but I am a fan of his stuff. I do appreciate some of his stuff. I do like how it's always like a twist at the end of his stuff. At least that's how it was back in like the early 2000s when his movies were coming out. One of my favorite ones is Signs. I like that one a lot. I really feel like it's one of those movies that you kind of just I don't want to say all of his movies, but sometimes there's like a theme, of I was believing in something, more than yourself, not you're not out there by yourself. Self. But yeah. What else did I watch? Gen V. I thought it was okay. I feel like the show's meh. I know it tries to be a parody on the superhero genre and stuff like that. But I feel like it's just gone like a little too woke. I mean, they literally have a they them character on there. It's like, okay, I get it, and like I know it's supposed to be, and it's also like it's supposed to be, like I said, a parody and stuff, and but it just feels like it just leans way too much of it, and I don't know. It felt like the first one, like the first couple of seasons, like really, you know, poke jab, you know, poked fun of what's going on with like Marvel and stuff like that, and just taking it to like the extreme. But this one, I don't know. It was okay. It was okay. I wasn't a big fan of it. And then I watched the first episode of season two, Invincible, which I wasn't hooked on the first episode. I don't know which way they're going with it, but like I said, it's something to watch while you're just doing stuff around the house. So if it sucks, it is what it is. I mean, at the end of the day, as long as the Amazon Prime that I'm paying for gets my packages here in 2 days, that's all I care about. All the other stuff is just extra. So I don't care. Guys, let's. Oh, what have I been playing? I've been bouncing around between Cyberpunk here and there, and little bits and pieces. Final Fantasy 7. But that's about it. Nothing major, nothing new coming out that I'm excited for. Um, I did want to talk about, guys. Last week, I forgot to mention that the state of Street Fighter 6, and where it's at, and how I feel about it. And I totally forgot. It wasn't until like the episode was done where I'm like, oh, crash! I forgot to mention all that stuff. But I don't know if you guys have been noticing, but I haven't really been playing Street Fighter 6 lately in the last couple of weeks. It's just because I just have no desire to. And which is funny because, I knew from the beginning, Street Fighter when first come out, you're in that honeymoon phase where everything's pretty fun and you enjoy it. But eventually, after a couple of weeks, the cracks start to show and you start realizing, oh, yeah, this is really cool. And I think for me, is the drive rush mechanic. I just don't like how the you could just randomly die to a drive impact, and it just really sucks. Like the drive rush, I understand that's part of the mechanic to I mean that you have to utilize it, but and I don't mind it because I use it a lot. So I mean that doesn't bother me, and I see I see it with my opponents too. The drive rush, that's how really what you want to do to get your buttons to be plus and stuff like that. And usually you can tell, right, if they're coming after you after with the green stuff behind them, their moves are probably going to be plus, right? Again, it's what I don't like. is the drive impact. It just feels like, oh my god, like you're trying to. I don't know. Sometimes you're supposed to be not so aggressive and be able to have to hold back, but sometimes you just throw it out there and that's it. It is game over. Or some of the times the enemy just likes to just spam it, and those you could you pick up on it and you get around and punish them for it. But sometimes when it just comes out at a the most weirdest time, is just oof, and then they go on and do their thing and it just becomes game over, and it just isn't fun for me. And maybe it's one of those things where I just need to take a break from the game and come back later. And also just what they've been doing a lot is releasing a whole bunch of like BS content, like not microtransactions, but bunch of, I guess you call them microtransactions, but there's little cosmetic stuff for your avatar, which I feel it has zero place. And I'm at the point now where you know the modern control. I'm not a fan of the modern controls either. Um, I, uh, I feel like it changes the game in too much in a different direction than it should be. It feels like it just really slows down the game where it and it's not as a fast game, but I feel like it really puts people on having to be more reserved because now they have access to an anti-air dragon punch, where usually under some extreme pressures, when the stakes get high enough, your opponent might not be able to get it out reliably, and you can punish it. But when they have it just ready to load and they have their finger hovering over it, it just changes the game. And it's not, and that's just me speaking, right? But modern controls, I'm jumping on one thought. Well, this actually is going to lead to the one, like modern controls. This whole really wanting you to grind world tour mode so you could get the secondary costumes, which I'm glad there is a way of getting it, but I also wish like they should have also just have it where when you start winning matches, you could use some of that fight money you get along the way, that zenny music money or whatever it's called, kudos points, whatever. Like you could actually use that to apply it to purchase the second costumes, right? Because right now it's just locked behind world tour mode, or you want to straight out just buy them. And I don't care for World Tour mode. WT, we're gonna call that WT mode. I don't care for it. I think it's boring. I feel like at first it's like, okay, it's a good way to teach people how to play the game, but someone like me who like, all right, I just want to get in there and be playing matches. I don't want to be grinding and fighting NPCs all the time on some character that some made up with some made up character. I just want to like do actual online matches. That's what I care about. That's what interests me. All the stuff they're doing to bring in the casuals, I felt it was fine at the beginning to bring them in, but at the same time, now, all that aside, it's now you need to focus on your hardcore audience. All the casuals, if they're still here, that's it. They're here. They're already on board. If not, if they haven't been here already, I mean, forget about it. They're not. The ones that are sticking around now are going to be the hardcore, the ones that the real online warriors, the people that want to play, the people that grind, that do the, that want to get the frame data, that want to get the, actually play the game, play on matches, grind, to get to, either, platinum, diamond, master rank. And them just having constant content for cosmetics for these avatars, like that's just I'm tired of it. They're like I feel like they're ignoring a portion of the loyal fan base just to cater to the casuals. And at this point, I don't even know if the casuals still around. I'm sure people are still playing the game, but I feel like they're going too much in that direction. And I'm just it's just not. I don't care for it. I don't see it. I don't like it. And that's just my point on the game. I mean, fortunately, we do have Tekken out on the horizon in January. We also have Eunice 2 coming out in January, so that's something to look forward to. But the way Street Fighter is, it just and actually I'm kind of looking forward to Ed when he eventually drops. I do plan on trying him out, but I don't know. Right now, Street Fighter just seems like it's not in a good spot for me. Like nothing. It doesn't say like, oh man, I can't wait to jump in there. I did for the first the first month, but after now, it's just if it doesn't. I have no intention. I'm like I'm gonna play. But I don't want to go in there. But anyways, that's about Street Fighter. Um, I do want to talk about Activision Blizzard, guys. Did you see I think it was during BlizzCon they announced the next WoW expansion, and for $90 you get a 3-day early access pass. All right, at this point, guys, we got to start having like a serious conversation with it. If you're an Activision Blizzard fan, you got to start knowing, dude. If you're keep support, and not only just Activision Blizzard, but anybody, right? But we're definitely seeing it with AB that supporting this whole buying for early access, paying a stupid amount of money just to play the game 3 days earlier is freaking stupid. It's dumb, and it showed. It happened. It happened. They saw that it was popular with Diablo 4. They're doing it with their Activision. They're doing it with the next expansion for WoW, and honestly, and they're doing it with Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. So at this point, it's like, I talk about how the individual should vote with their wallet, but apparently people like just giving them more money. And sometimes I would like to say, you know what, everybody has that one franchise that they like, but when they're gouging you for this much for just to get 3 days early access, and it's just not them anymore. Now the other companies are seeing this, and they're trying to get away with it, and I think it's really stupid. It's not even about the games anymore. Now it's about them just trying to make as much money as possible, and just to make you, the consumer, to just take advantage of it. So I'm just saying, guys, look, uh, you got to stop. You really do have to just stop buying early access stuff. The companies see it like, oh wait, the people like it, and they're gonna keep doing it for what, $90, $100, $120 extra. I mean, total in the price just to pay, like, that's just ridiculous. Anyways, guys, I just wanted to talk about that before. I'm trying to keep these podcasts like super short and everything. I just wanted to bring it up and share my thoughts on it. But yeah, definitely this whole Activision Blizzard, they're definitely a scummy company when it comes to video games. And now we know exactly why. I mean, we've known it, but I mean, now they're just blatantly doing it, charging you $70 for a game, or stupid amounts of money for early access just for BS and stuff like that. Anyways, guys, thank you for listening. I appreciate it. I will see y'all next time, and have a good night. Bye. Shit, BRB.